Hello everyone, welcome to my Facebook Live. I am Ruth Norton with Ruth Stamping Corner, and today I am going to show you this box. This is a big box. It is 6 inches long, about 1.5 wide, and then 2 3/4 this way. So 1.5 tall, 2 3/4 wide. So it is a big box, and I cannot wait to show you guys what's inside. So we're going to make this in just a second. It is so stinking cute. I'm going to give you some tips for getting this beautiful gingham pattern back here too. So anyway, we're going to get to that in just a second. Before we do, let's go over everything in front of me and get all the business stuff out of the way before we get to the fun stuff while we're waiting for people to join us. All right, the Beyond the Horizon Paper Pumpkin Kit. This is March's Paper Pumpkin. The last day to subscribe to this will be March 10th, which is coming up in, I think a week from today is March 10th. This is going to be a fantastic kit. It's coordinates with Suite in our mini catalog, the Horizon Suite or something. It coordinates with a Suite in our mini catalog. But March is like a birthday celebration month for Paper Pumpkin. That's when Paper Pumpkin started, was in March. And so they're including an additional free stamp set for us. So not one stamp set, but 2 stamp sets. You're going to get the stamp set that coordinates with the kit, and then you're just going to get another free stamp set with it. So it's a great time to purchase those Paper Pumpkin kits. Subscribe. There's a link to subscribe in the video description so you can subscribe to the Paper Pumpkin. I love Paper Pumpkin. I am so excited for this kit. All right, guys, March 1st. I haven't been live in March yet. March 1st, we had a ton of stuff starting. The Waves of the Ocean promotion started. So this is a sneak peek for our annual catalog. This bundle will carry into our annual catalog. The Waves of Inspiration. The dies are pretty incredible. But along with that, they've released some products that are exclusive just for this promotion. So these products down here are only available while supplies last. That's the Waves of the Ocean DSP, the foils, and then the Rhinestone Waves Basic Jewels. These jewels, you guys, I have used a ton. I love these. I'm so sad they actually will not be in the catalog, but I am sure getting my use out of them while I can. So if you love these products, make sure you get them while supplies last. We all know what that means. That could mean anytime. And then this bundle you can also purchase now, or it'll also carry over into our annual catalog. So don't forget about this. Also happening March 1st, the Savings Are in Bloom promotion started. This promotion I am so excited about because this little guy, the mini cut and emboss machine, let me grab it real quick. I keep it on my desk because I use it all the time. This is the little mini cut and emboss machine. He is so cute. He's so tiny, and he is going 20% off this month. So instead of $60, you get the mini cut and emboss machine for only $48. So that's a fantastic savings for the mini cut and emboss machine. You will not regret that purchase. So you can save on that. And in addition to the mini cut and emboss machine on sale, they have also released a whole slew of bundles that are also 20% off. And a few of them they've rebundled. These returning favorites are not currently in the catalog as bundles, but you can get them now as a bundle and save 20%. So there's some really amazing bundles on here, and you're going to see some of these coming up on my blog later this month, and maybe in a Facebook Live too. This one for sure I love, and we might actually use this one in a Facebook Live next week. So anyway, check these out. Check them out. They're all on my online store. You can purchase those on my online store. They're only 20% off for March only. All right, I have a new card crate. Card crate is my class to go. March's card crate features the Inspired Thoughts bundle. This is a fantastic bundle. Look at these dies. They are fantastic. And then the greetings, it's all greetings in the stamps, which is fantastic. We always need some extra greetings. So this is the bundle. And then the card crate is a class that will come to your mailbox. You're going to create 4 beautiful cards. These cards are fantastic. And this one's a little fun fold card. So card crate is $35. It includes $20 in products. It includes shipping and the PDF for the cards, as well as a video for the cards. So it's a really fantastic deal, and it's only $35. So a really great deal to get. And the last day to RSVP for card crate is March 11th. So that's a week from Friday, or a week from tomorrow. So all right, guys, thank you for joining me for Facebook Live. If you do need to shop for any supplies, this is March's host code. This is my new host code for March. You can shop using this host code all month long. All orders will receive a PDF with 3 exclusive projects, and orders over $50 or more will receive the PDF to go, or the make and takes that go with that PDF. All right, guys, words are hard. We're gonna power through though. This is what we are making today. this sweet little box. Well, it's not a little box. It is a big box. You could fit a ton of things in here. I'm going to show you what I fit in here. And some of you might laugh a little bit, but if you grew up in the 90s, if you are a child of the 90s like me, you're going to know exactly what these are and you're going to be excited. So I found these at Sam's Club. They are Dunkaroos. Do you guys remember these? There's little cookies and then there's a little thing of frosting and you dunk the cookies in the frosting. They're fantastic. These were one of my childhood favorites. And then I don't know, they either disappeared from stores or I stopped looking for them. I don't know, but I saw them at Sam's Club last time I was at Sam's Club and I was like, yes, I need to get some Dunkaroos. And so I decided I also needed to make, of course, a cute little box for them because anybody's going to want these. Okay, so let's get started. We're actually going to start with the box. So let me pull out my Simply Scored. And the box is actually two different pieces. So the bottom is the box, and then we have the lid part that we're going to glue in. So let's start with the lid. That's a smaller piece of cardstock. So the lid is 8 by 3 3/4. So I'm gonna make sure I'm on camera. Okay, so on the 8-inch side, we are going to score at 1.5. Oops, the wrong side. 1.5 and 7.5. Then we're going to turn it, and on the 3 3/4 inch side, we're going to score at 1/2 inch and at 3 1/4. Okay, and this is going to be our lid piece. So we're going to set this aside, and we're going to get out the piece for our box. And I'm using Coastal Cabana for the box and the lid. For the box, it is 9.5 by 6 3/4. So on the 9.5 inch side, we're going to score at 1/2 inch. At 2 and at 8. All right, now you're going to rotate it, and on the 6 3/4 inch side, we're going to score at 1/2 inch. These 1/2 inch ones are a little bit trickier, and at 2 inches. And we're going to do that on each side. So I'm going to turn it all the way around, and on this side, we're going to do it at 1/2 inch and 2 inches again. All the measurements are listed in the video description, and this project will be on my blog tomorrow. So you can check out all the photos and everything on my blog tomorrow. All right, so let's put our Simply Scored away. We're going to bring back over our pieces, and I'm going to grab a bone folder, and we're going to fold and burnish on these pieces. Now, the box I actually designed so that the top of the box had more of a rounded edge. And that just gives it a nice cleaner look, and when you tuck it inside, you get a nice finished look with that rounded edge. So that's what these little 1/2 inch lines are for, and that will make more sense when we start assembling it. This box, because it's so long, even with a 12 by 12 piece of paper, it wouldn't fit on one sheet. So that's why we have our lid and our box separate. Okay, so that is our box, and let's actually start with our box. We'll put our lid piece aside. So we are going to, on this side, so there's this side, when you're holding it long side, there's a 1/2 inch, and then there's that 2 inch mark we made. On this side, there's only one score line. We don't have another one. This is actually the back of our box. Because we're attaching our lid back here, we didn't need to reinforce that side. So we're going to start down here with where there's only one score line. And I'm going to cut off this little 1/2 inch piece. We don't need that. Okay, and then I'm going to just angle this a little bit on this 1/2 inch piece. So I'm just going to cut that piece out. Okay, I'm going to do the same on this side. And the rule of boxes is kind of what you do to one side, you want to do to the other. And that will give you a nice symmetrical box. All right, so we're going to take that out, and then we're going to cut up these score lines here. So I'm going to cut straight on the big rectangle, and then these squares I'm going to notch in. These are going to be the tabs that fold into our box. And they're actually going to be hidden by the lid piece, so we don't need to worry about those at all. Okay, so we're just notch in on these. Okay, so I'm going to kind of show you how that's going to go together. These are going to fold in like this. Okay, so now let's work on getting the rest of our little tabs free. So this long tab, we just want to notch in here. And then we're going to take out all of this. Okay, this whole little 1/2 inch piece. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to notch in here. We're going to take out that whole 1/2 inch piece. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing that we did on the other side. We're going to cut up these these score lines here on the rectangle cut nice and straight. Use longer scissors. I do love our paper snips. Okay. Now I'm going to fold this piece out of the way a little bit because we're going to cut these pieces off. We don't need these. So I'm going to just trim those off, and then we're just going to notch these pieces. Okay. And again, this will be all hidden in the front of the box. Nobody's ever going to see it. All right. And then the final thing that we need to trim on this box is this little tab here. We just need to angle cut these just a little bit, just like that. Okay, so now when this folds up, these little 1/2 inch pieces are all going to fold over like that, and that's going to give you a nice smooth rounded look to the box. Okay, so this is the box. We're going to set this aside. We're going to do some trimming on our lid. So let's fold on all those score lines. There's a 1/2 inch score line around 3 of the sides. And then back here, there's a larger score line. I think 1 3/4, I think. All right, so we're going to actually notch in here, and we're going to notch in here. And we're just going to take out this piece right here with some little notches on each side. This is going to be the back of our box. This is going to glue into our box. It's going to make the hinge for our lid. And by just notching in when we cut it out, that just saves us some cuts later. All right, now we're going to do the same thing with this corner too. We're just going to notch in and notch in. You could, if you wanted to cut straight up and use your corner rounder, you could also do that. But, you know, we have our scissors. We're already doing some trimming. It's easy enough to do it that way. Okay, that's our lid. So that's easy peasy. All right, let's get all this trash out of the way. We're going to start adhering things. So I'm going to set my lid aside again. I'm going to pull in my box. I'm going to use tear and tape. You can use Stampin' Seal Plus. You can use liquid adhesive, whatever you want. I'm going to put a couple pieces on each of these tabs that we cut into. This is going to glue our box together. And one more on this tab. And then we're going to flip our box over. We're going to flip it over, and we're going to run some tear and tape along all 3 of these tabs. So on both the sides and then on the front. Okay. So make sure that your adhesive is on opposite sides of the box. All right, turn it back over. Take your pick tool or your scissors, whatever you want, and we're going to peel off all of these backings on the tabs. So peel these off. This is the most tedious part, I think. All right. This out of the way. Now this box, because it's designed specifically for these little Dunkaroos, but this is a big box. You could fit lots of things in here. You can make some little homemade treats to put in there, little homemade cookies or candies. Those would fit perfectly. Probably lots of other little cookie packets would fit in here. Lots of candy for sure, and other gifts too. I mean, I think you could even change up the design a little bit, and you could even maybe fit like a tie in there for some guys. For a little, you know, dad gift or birthday gift or anything like that. Maybe even a pair of socks, something like that. I mean, this box is a big box. All right, now we're going to go through, we're going to peel off all of this adhesive. You could have done this before too. So we're going to just, and then I'm just going to fold these over as I peel them off. That'll get them out of the way. And that will just reinforce our box. It'll not only reinforce it, but it'll give us that nice clean edge, make it look very professional. Okay, one more. All right, so this is our box. So we have our back here. The back is the only piece that's not completely reinforced yet, but all of the sides are nice and clean. All right, we're going to take our lid and bring back our tear and tape, and I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of the lid piece, like this, and then take your pick tool, peel off all that adhesive backing. All right, put my lid on that so I don't lose it. All right, now for our lid piece back here, make sure you put it on the right side. This is just going to go all the way down in the bottom and just line up this score line with the edge of the box. So I give it a little press, open it up, and press inside to make sure it's nice and sealed. And there you have the little tabs tucked in. There you go. There you have the box. Perfect fit, just like that. Isn't that cute? It's such a cute box. Now, to make it easier to open and close, I added a little pull tab on my box here. So I'm going to do the same thing. This is the white frayed ribbon. This is in our mini catalog. And so I'm just going to fold over, this is maybe like an inch. Well, it's about 2 inches, but it's an inch folded over. And I'm just going to trim that off. So this is a great way to use up any little scraps of ribbon you have. And I'm just going to use a stapler. And on the front tab of my box, I'm just going to line that up. Just like that. And I'm going to use my stapler and just staple that right onto my box. Just like that, my little tabs. So now the tabs will tuck right in, just like that, and you have a little pull tab that you can open and close your box easily. All right, let's stick our little Dunkaroos inside. Such a fun treat. All right, there we go. All right, so that is the box finish. Now what you do from here, you can do whatever you want. You can decorate it however you want. We are going to use the Measure of Love stamp set. This is in the annual catalog. This is one of my favorites. I wanted to pull it out again because I love it so much. So let's do our stamping first. I'm going to stamp the little scale in Memento. And actually, some of these are a little bit more solid images. And so I want to get out my Stampin' Pierce mat. Because it's a photopolymer stamp set, the Stampin' Pierce mat will help you get a nice, clean, crisp image when you stamp. So press it onto the scale. There you go. Love it. So that is it for the black. We're going to do a lot more stamping, but that's it for our Memento. All right, I'm going to pull in my Bermuda Bay ink, and we're going to stamp our bowl. This little bowl is so cute. I would love to have a little set of bowls like this. Now, we're going to be fussy cutting all of this out, so you can stamp it wherever you want, kind of close to the scale if you want. So there's our bowl. So cute. That's in Bermuda Bay. And then we're going to fill up our bowl with some cherries. So I'm going to grab my Poppy Parade. Now this Poppy Parade is super juicy. And before we do our cherries, we're going to do the little dial on our scale here. So just line up that circle in the middle. We're going to cover this up with a brad. So if it's not exact, that's okay. And our little cherries will go next. Okay, so let's see if I can do this without, I have to get right over it. Think, oh, perfect. Look at how cute that lines up. Isn't that adorable? All right, and while we have our Poppy Parade out, I am going to grab the piece we're going to stamp our greeting on. This is from, can I grab it? This is from the Hippo and Friends dies. So it's a nice little scalloped, not scalloped, little clipped corner stitched tag. And I'm going to stamp the greeting from that same set. Our friendship tips the scale. Right on there. I'm going to set that aside to dry. All right, that's it with our Poppy Parade. So let's put that aside. And then the last thing that we need to stamp is the stems for our cherries. So we'll bring this back up. And Granny Apple Green for those. And let's see if I can line this up as well as I did little cherries. Oh, pretty perfect. Look at how cute that little bowl is. So cute. All right, we need to color our scale. So I have some Stampin' Blends. Now the box is Coastal Cabana. We unfortunately do not have a Coastal Cabana set of Stampin' Blends, but I have found that if you use dark Pool Party and light Bermuda Bay, when you blend those two together, you're going to get pretty close to Coastal Cabana. So that's what we're going to do. So don't be afraid to blend different colors together. You don't always have to use Pool Party with Pool Party or Bermuda Bay with Bermuda Bay. You can really kind of mix and match. So on all four of these little edges on the scale, I'm going to go in with my my light Bermuda Bay. And up here, along the bottom of the scale here, I'm also going to go in, just do some shading. And then on the little sides here. Okay, so that's my darker color, which happens to be my light Bermuda Bay. And then we're going to come in with the dark Pool Party. And I'm going to go in circular motions to blend out that, that Bermuda Bay. And then we're just going to fill in the rest of this with Pool Party. Okay. So it's not going to be an exact match to Coastal Cabana, but it's going to be pretty close. And we're going to do the same thing on all of these circular motions to blend that out. And just go all the way around. These little spots are a little tiny, especially on the sides here. Just work your way slowly. Do it very carefully. And corners along the top here. this corner down here. You can see that I'm moving my paper around. I think that's easier than trying to maneuver the marker. You can just keep moving your paper. It's easier to color those images. Okay, so there is our scale. I do want to add a little bit of shading to the dial of the scale. And if you feel like you need to add some more darker colors, you can go in with those darker colors. So I have some light smoky slate here. I'm just going to add a little bit of shading on this side and on this side. And I didn't want it to be too harsh. So I'm actually going to come in with my color lifter and just kind of blend that out just a little bit. Not completely, but just soften those lines a little bit. And that will give that dial a little bit of shading. So isn't that cute? All right, so we're going to move our little mat out of the way. And through the magic of television, let me see if I can grab these out of here. I have already pre-fussy cut them. So ta-da! Magic of television. We have all that done. Now let's talk about the rest of our pieces here. I have a piece of Coastal Cabana. Again, this is from the Hippo and Friends dies. This is that largest of the little square layers. And then from the Layering Circles dies, I have a Poppy Parade scalloped and then a basic white. And let's bring him back in our stamped piece. And then I have also die cut 3 hearts from our Coastal Cabana DSP. That's from the Brights DSP pack. And I've used the Give It a Whirl dies for these. So those are our pieces. And we have some other pieces for the sides, but we're going to get to those in just a minute. I want to just build up our little piece here just so that we don't lose any pieces. So this is a brand new Stampin' Seal, so I got to get us started. So we're going to glue that white circle to the Poppy Parade scallop circle, both from the Layering Circles dies. And then this is going to get popped up. I didn't grab dimensionals. Here we go. This is going to get popped up onto our Coastal Cabana piece with dimensionals, of course. All right, just like that. Now our little scale is going to go on here. Before we put the scale on, I did want to add a little brad. I have the white brads here from our round and square brads. These come in 2 different sizes of circles and squares in black and white, but I wanted it to match the scale a little more, so I'm going to grab that dark Bermuda Bay, and I'm just going to, or this is the light Bermuda Bay. I'm just going to color my brad just like that. Okay, pretty easy, but it adds a lot of extra texture to your brad. It adds some color. You can modify the white ones to any color you want. So I'm going to bring this back out and use my Take Your Pick tool and just punch a hole through there. The brad, oh, I nearly dropped it. Hang on. Oh, I think I did drop it. Oh my goodness. All right. We will find that later. Let me grab another one. The ink will dry pretty quickly on the brad because it's an alcohol-based ink. So we'll just color another one. Just like this. Okay. All right. It's a tiny little brad, so who knows where it went. Okay, just fold the little legs back and you have a super fun little accent that matches perfectly to your scale. All right, we're gonna add this with dimensionals. Do a couple here and one here. This will go onto our little tag piece here, and the bottom of the scale is going to hang down just a little bit past that scallop circle. And this piece I'm actually going to adhere just directly onto the circle. I'm going to use some liquid glue for this just so I can move it and position it right into place exactly where I want it, just like that. And that will look like the bowl is sitting on the scale. Isn't that cute? So cute. Okay, let's move this stuff out of the way. I'm going to move my hearts, my greeting. We're going to move this stuff out of the way because we are going to, oops, make sure that's dry before we mess with it. Let's move this stuff out of the way. I want to show you a fun technique for getting this amazing gingham pattern back here. We're going to use our gingham embossing folder, but I wanted it to be a little bit more defined, and so I'm actually we're going to ink up our folder. So I am going to, before we do that, I want to pull out my machine. This is the Big Cut and Emboss machine. This folder will only go through the Big Cut and Emboss machine, so I'm going to pull this out. And then for our sandwich, we're going to need our platform 1, and then we're going to need 2 plates. This is This is a thinner one, so you need the 2 plates. Okay, now that we have that, I am going to ink up my folder. And you just want to press, you don't want to press too firmly, especially with this ink, with this folder specifically. You don't want to get those debossed sections. So I'm just going through and we're just going to, it's better to tap it multiple times and get nice coverage than to really press it and cover where you don't want to cover. So I am just tapping it very, very lightly. This ink pad is super juicy, so it doesn't take a lot. So we're just going to kind of cover the ink pad, the embossing folder. Now, if you're wondering how to clean this when you're done, you will just run this through the, you know, some water under the sink. That's what I did yesterday, and it's completely fine. Or not yesterday. When did I make this? Last week or so. All right. Now we're going to take a piece of Poppy Parade. This piece is 5 3/4 by 2.5. Now, once you get it in there, it's in there. Don't move it around. So I'm just going to lay that in. I'm going to close the lid to my, or close the embossing folder. Put our second plate on top without moving that paper. Okay, and then we're just going to run it through. This is going to give it like a letterpress kind of look. It's so fun, and especially with this gingham folder, it really gives you all that extra added texture. So open it carefully and look at how amazing this paper is. Okay, I don't want to get my hands all inky. There we go. All right, I'm going to close this up. I'm going to set that aside. I'll clean that off, just running it under some water. Look how beautiful this piece is. You can see all of that amazing gingham texture. So that just really takes your embossing folder to the next level. All right, we are going to stick this onto the front of our box. Now that it's all nice and embossed, we have that beautiful like letterpress look. This goes right onto the front of our box. Oops. Not good. Make sure that's nice and centered. You can open up the box, give it a little press. All right, close that box again. And we are ready to assemble the rest of our stuff. I also have some DSP. This is going to go on the side. This is our Poppy Parade. This is also from our Brights pack. So let's stick that on first before we add the rest of it. And I'm using the kind of the gingham pattern from the DSP to match the top. Now the front piece is 2.5 by 1 1/4. 1 1/4. All these measurements are in the video description. And then these longer pieces are 1 1/4 by 5 3/4. These will go 1 on each side. Just like that. Close up our box that fell open when we tipped it over. And the last one. This goes on our other side, and we are almost done, guys. Okay, so this goes on the side of the box, just like that. Okay, so let's bring back those pieces. This is going to get popped up onto the box with dimensionals. I can find where I put them. The tag will overhang just a little bit, so don't put dimensionals all the way to the edge. Okay, let's pull this off. All right, this goes a little highest center, just barely highest center. You really want some of that gingham to show in the background. This is going to go on with dimensionals. Again, this will fit on there, but you don't need to go all the way to the edge with those. And this goes right under the scale, just like that. And then the last thing we need to do is add our little hearts. And you can use glue dots for this. I'm just going to use some liquid glue. Just a few little dots here, one down here on the tag. And I'm going to use take your pick tool and pick those up. And just drop them on these little hearts. These are some of my favorites. They're from the Give It a Whirl dies, and I use them all the time. One down here. Okay, there you go. There you have it. This is our fun little, well, big top hinge box. And inside are that classic 90s Dunkaroo treat. Love these little boxes. They're so cute. So that is it for today. So I will be back next Wednesday. I'm taking a little break from Sunday Facebook Lives for just a couple of weeks. I'll be back doing Sunday Facebook Lives in a little bit. If you need to order any supplies, please head to my online store. Use March as host code. If you're watching this on Facebook, I'd love it if you shared it with your friends. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel and like the video. And I will see you guys back here next week, hopefully back on Wednesday. Yesterday was just a chaotic day with so many things going on. So thank you for joining me a day later, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.